Hi. Hello. It's a bit early in the morning here. I just woke up and had a meditation. And then in meditation had this epiphany, like a realization, just a knowing or whatever. You get, thought. So thought came, right? Gee, surprise. But this is very interesting because this made you think. And this is all what it's about. It's all about the program. Everything is about, realizations about, the mind. They're always telling you it's overcoming the mind. But at this moment, at the moment, going through this whole thing, and now the mind, the karma of the mind, watching the mind, you realize, this is what I say today, you realize that the mind is, you're listening, and you realize that your grandmother's critical voice, nasty voice, that's this, that, so really, and you watch other people's behavior. And now by manifestation, what you say, believe your mantras, whatever, you are changing your reality. So the mind, by reprogramming the mind and thoughts and beliefs, you're changing energy, the whole thing. So we know the mind has, something to do with it. But then, what made you question here? Now, practicing all of this and doing it and seeing that you're affecting a reality and things are manifesting, There's a couple of advantages here. This one died, like literally died and came back, but not had a near death, died, gone. Watched, you were gone for a while, you were quite aware, and watched the funeral, watched the whole thing. And then you just woke up in bed. You came back in a parallel reality, basically, right? Fine. Anyway, also, this had an inner yearning. I listened to, so I'll give you some background so I can explain. I listened to, after this awakening, Kundalini awakening, you got to a certain level, and then all of a sudden last year, about May last year, I was drawn to this non-dual path. Like, you knew there was more. You just thought, no, you wanted the highest teaching or the highest level. And that was always actually driven here. It was always a thing, to get to the highest level of consciousness, and there we are. That drive was here, that thing. So that's obviously what purpose is to do. So all of a sudden, coming from the West in this life, no teaching, no idea, no guru, no nothing, and you start this awakening, and so everything was guided from within. All your, source was, you woke up and you were guided from within. And then all of a sudden, I came across this channel with all these old teachings, which before were not available to the public, actually. Before this mass awakening, now they weren't really available. So now they're out there, like all the masters, all their teachings are out there. And I found the channel. I started listening to them, and I came across one teaching that just said there is no ego. Nice. There is no ego. And that just made me think, hang on a second, you just knew it. There's no ego. That's nonsense. It never has been an ego. You are it, I don't know, something like that. You are, that's a story, that's a thing. It is it. That's exactly the problem here. There is never been one, you see. So you believing that you're not source and whatever else, and you're listening to the thoughts. This is a problem. It's just how it's what we've been told. What we have programmed the mind. The mind is not to blame, though. This is where it came. So I decided, right, that's it. But now you've got, say, a lot of stuff and programs, all kinds of nonsense in the mind. First of all, to fear God, you not God, A lot of Western programs and all kinds of things. So negative programs and fears, and depending also what's in the body, the traumas and fear and, and things in the body. So this one decided, no, that's it. You just knew it. And you were determined, as anything. So I went on a 30, 40 day, right, that's it. Because you're listening to the old teachings that you had to silence the mind completely, a movement, which I did. And the veil started falling. And you started, now seeing and realizing you were and told that you were the only thing that exists. You were aware that, and that this is, you are creating it, and you got those experiences and shown, and you saw. So it was a shock. Yeah, that's what I say. It does shock. The program is so strong that it does give it a shock. So there was a lot of paradox. I discussed it on Facebook. So you started seeing that. First of all, this is a holographic universe, and there's nothing real. I mean, it was like, shock. Then you understood how the gurus could go live in a cave, because you were like, well, oh, what's the point? You know, none of this is real. You saw, I mean, you saw through the illusion. So you realize none of it was real, and your children, you're looking at your children, you know, not like you thought, oh my gosh, because you see, you're really believing, because you're believing the program that you've been told. The mind has been programmed with. This is the problem. You are believing what the mind has been fed. Because when you're a baby, you come in, is what I'm saying. This is what the realization came is. We can all be awake much easier. So we're following, even the teachings, we are following programs and teachings which are telling us we're not. You see? Anyway, and you need to do this and you need to do that. Babies automatically don't have that, but then their parents start programming and telling them, and they believe they're a body. So this is the problem. This one, the mind did because of the programs, and the mind fought back big time. The mind was told to go and take a flying kite. So there was fighting, you know, with the mind, because that I'm saying, it took about 2 weeks, but really fighting. You know, it gave you trouble, quieting it down. Then it was like, no, you're not. And it was like, piss off, you know, you're not the body. So you just stuck with it. That's what I'm saying. This is where the thing, I stuck with it. I'm not the body, you're not the mind. Okay, the body, you know, didn't appreciate. So that's what I say. It was rather, it wasn't a sensitive coming back from there. It was rather brutal. So you just, you know, so the poor body also was like, what the hell? The body did, you know, did fight back afterwards, the mind. You had some issues afterwards. You know, as a bell was about to fall, let me just, as the actual final, you know, it's like death before death. There was this, you're sitting there and you're realizing it, and you were shown, you know, you also got an understanding that nothing has meaning. There isn't anything actually going on. There's just energy. It's just moving. There's no story. It just, that's what it does. It just creates. So you're just making up a story out of this, you know, movement of energy. So all of the understanding, knowing, seeing came. And then the bell was about to, you know, finally go poof. But when this final realization, this thing was going to go pop, and you actually thought you were going to disappear, like body and all, like, you know, out of this reality. Who knows? I mean, you know, no clue. And you were, so another dimension, another something, because you were aware. Everything was here. You were aware, you know, there was heaven on earth, Garden of Eden, everything was here now. So you could shift. You were quite aware of that. You could have a complete different experience. But you didn't know if you were going to disappear in a porthole or not, you know, at this stage, because this is all on it. As I said, welcome to the new. So that, as the final bell was about to pull, this one pulled back in fear, you know, because just like not sure. And the mind, is what I say, the program, the fear kicked in, and then the mind came back with a vengeance, you know, with the absolute, well, did it only get busy and noisy because it's fear. That's what I'm saying. We got to understand. That made me think now today, going through this karma and watching the mind and negative programs and things and whatever's going on here. This morning's meditation made me realize, with this whole experience that was happened last year, and the knowing, and the new, the so-called, oh yeah. Secondly, the so-called new, you know, this radical non-dual. There's a lot of young people waking up by just looking. Secondly, some are just waking up by being told you're not, you know, just believing it. I mean, it's always been the case. So believing when, you know, just, it's a trust, I suppose, especially in the old days. They really trusted the guru, and the guru said you are, and they were like, okay, you know, and then off they would go. And this is what came here. Even our old teachings are telling us, remember, they came from a very dark time. So even these teachings back then, I mean, we know we had really fallen. So we came from a dark time, you know, and people, because of what we were taught by the, you know, our founding, say, family anarchy, right? So we're quite one for an eye and war and whatever else, and some dominate the others and that kind of thing. So it wasn't very pleasant. So there was suffering, yes. But it's what I'm saying. If you understand here, what you programmed this. Secondly, so I say all this kind of fell together today. When the memory started coming back, after, you know, after I died, and basically, you know, decided to carry on with this life, right? All of a sudden you wake up in bed and, you know, life carries on, but then you starts filtering more and more, started filtering through. Besides, you remember you're not, you know, obviously popped out the body, but that was quite a new thing, because the death experience happened before all of this, you know, a few years ago actually, not that long ago, but a couple of years ago I died. The body had had enough. I'm not surprised. It had gone through a lot of shit. So it just, yeah, anyway. So the body was, had it checked, you know, it couldn't do anymore. So the body had checked out, right? I died young actually. Wow, I was only 58. And off we went, you know. or 57 or something. Anyway. Never mind. Off we went, right? But as I started remembering from the other side, as I say, they say it's true. The Guru's experience, you really do experience everything at the same time. When you drop, as I say, if I'd gone through that final veil, you're basically training, believing the mind, you're believing, tricking the mind and body to believe you're already dead. That's actually what's happening. And you're denying, because you are creating your reality. Anyway, you are the divine. This is what I'm saying. This is why it all made sense now. So bear with me here. You really are creating this reality. You wouldn't be having any experience of any sort of earth if you were not doing it. So you are doing it already. It's just that we've been so told, we have told and programmed the mind that we're not. You would not have any experience if you were not, of any of this, if you were not doing, actually creating this. You just wouldn't be. You'd be back in spirit, basically. So memories started coming back of being back in spirit. No, okay, no, I died like this is days. It wasn't a few minutes. I was gone. I didn't have a near death. Anyway, so, oh, sorry, I've lost track now. Jeez, I don't want to I'm not going to read your comments now because I'm trying to stay with what I'm trying to tell you. This whole realization, right? And you started remembering, as I say, you know that everything you can. When you, like they do, when you trick, this is what you had to do to become the Gurus. Basically, the Gurus are doing, but this, and I've done it, and I can tell you how you can do that. So what you'll do is pop the thing, and so it's like you did, and then you experience being back on the other side again. Everything. This is exactly what the old way is actually doing. What you're trying to do is do that. So you can experience sort of being here, but from the other side in a way. Oh, I can't explain that. Anyway, when you're not in a body, right? When you do die, you are back there, and you are aware. You can hear and know everything at the same time. It sounds bizarre because obviously the brain. Don't ask me how. I don't know. But you literally, as the Bible says, you are aware of everything all at once, because there's only all at once. This is another thing. Those that do the inquiry and you realize everything's here and you get many visions. That's what I'm saying. It's you trying to remind you everything is right here. Literally, there's bugger all. Okay, everyone knows. You're in a soup, as you were saying yesterday. If you realize, if you see it, you become aware that there's nothing here. There's just you and frequencies. Your mind is interpreting those frequencies as things, but there's absolutely diddly squat going on. There's nothingness, and it's just, there's only you, and there's just this. They appear as different lights or colors, different beings, different energies. They're just different energies because there's nothing but energy that existing. So there's this energy and colors, but now when you're playing human, you're perceiving it. Your mind is filtering them and taking these so-called, there's nothing out there, nothing, as, oh, tree, but that's what I'm saying. You're creating your dream. This is, you're the divine. It's having a bloody dream. So when you die, this is the experience here, you absolutely are aware of everything at the same time, like everything. You're aware, and you can hear it. This is the weirdest thing to say to someone, but you can actually hear everything at the same time without it being a problem. It's not like it's not a problem. You're just aware of it, and you can decide to tune into something, right? You can tune into, zoom in as well. This is what I say. What you actually do is take your awareness. It's like you're in a meditation, the same thing. Take your awareness, and you focus on, let's say, whatever that is. Say you want to focus on Saturn, because that's whatever's going on that's getting your attention, and you're there. So you travel like, as I say, with this, like you would do in your astral. The minute a thought, you focus on it, you move there. Same as when you're out of the body, you're astral, right? The minute you think of something, you are there, because there's no density anymore. Remember, there's no physical body. So being out of spirit is you're sitting, you're aware of all of this, and you can see Earth and and all these so-called. When you're not in a body, as they say, it looks like a holographic play going on. So you're aware there's a movie going on. Okay, when you're in this identity, you're aware there's a movie going on. Oh, look at everybody, and you can decide. You can focus on which planet you want to, and you can focus on. You can zoom into Earth, and then you can zoom into a location, and you can. Say you pick up, oh, that one sounds interesting, and you actually do. This is how you're choosing it, because I remembered. And oh, that one's fun, I want to get into that action. And you could decide that you want to play that character. you literally focus on it, and the closer you focus into it, before you realize it, boom. This is what you experience, as the gurus say. There's no such thing as birth. How do you think this one died? Literally died, and next minute you wake up and you're in bed and you can carry on with another life and another parallel reality. You're creating it. I'm saying, I shared something on my page yesterday, which is so true, because when I started this journey of fighting with the mind and saying, no, you are source and I'm not the body, you're not the mind, and doing my meditations, and you slowly, it starts giving up. It'll start really arguing with you, and you're like, no, you're just, you're just not listening to it, and you eventually just ignore it, and it's like we had like a tiff. And you manage, eventually the mind just shuts up, right? And you start and you just say, this is what happened. Because this is what you were taught. You had to, silence it and meditate. So this one just forced it and meditated and just ignored everything as though I only used my third eye, and I ignored the fact that there was a body out there. Any vision, any perception of anything out there, I ignored it. There we are. And that's how in the body I experience. And then, as this girl said, you realize a bit more, but when you're in the mind is still, when you're in the body, you're still perceiving. So the mind is still filtering it, even though you're in meditation, right? So you were aware that everyone was. So you are source, and you're aware like there's bubbles. When you're playing Earth game, from that perspective, what you see are bubbles. It's like bubbles of energy. You can actually drop into these different ones. And everybody is, when they pop, when they like die, kind of, decide, okay, the game's over, the energy, the thing goes poof. This is what the gurus experience. The bubble bursts and poof, you're back in spirit story. But while you are having earth experience, you've got this, it's just, what you think is your Taurus fuel, is your Merkaba, is your entire flippin' reality. You're in this like bubble, and everything is in it. And you can actually, I had this experience, and I showed people on Facebook, you could actually then, because now you're saying your source and you've got the mind to believe it, and you're at about a month or something. So you could actually drop, before I'd actually seen through it enough, I hadn't seen the holographic part yet, but this is where you got to now, this stage, like this girl was explaining. So I could actually decide now I'm going to drop into, say, John's bubble. And I could move over there and focus on you, and I could literally, you do feel a thing of density. It's like, oh, not pleasant. And when you focus on that and you go down into John, put my awareness on John, you feel the constriction. And next minute, poof, up the world, like this world appears around me. I drop into John's bubble. So I'm going to John, and it's like automatically like a boom, like let's say the virtual reality movie starts. It's not fun. So if you really believe and you focus on the body, you drop into this. I could see everything. I could see, it was a bit embarrassing, I didn't want to say it to him, but this is Facebook, someone on Facebook that was listening to me. I decided to experiment with them and told them. But not everything I saw, but when you drop into their bubble, I was aware of all of it. Like everything he wanted, like all his, dreams or manifestation or ideas, like say you want whatever, your desires, like you're trying to manifest or whatever. There, you could see the life, his house and car and everything he wanted. So all the thoughts, so you can see everything of that if you drop into that, playing that being. So all it is you as source is focused more intensely. It's like you purposely put your focus. So this is why you're staying in a human body, is because you've focused so intensely and you really believe, and you're keeping your focus completely like this on the fact that you are this almost like body mind. You see, this is the thing we have, and what came today is it's mainly to do with the brain. So we always blame the mind, right? You've got to overcome the mind, and this was the belief here because we were taught that. So the monkey mind, and the mind's negative. And if you listen to different gurus, they also will have different experiences. And some say, no, be gentle, it's not. And some will say, no, you just don't have to listen to it. Exactly. So there's so many that are waking up now, all having different experiences of being source. Some are having some perceive nothing. That's what I'm saying. There are levels. Some perceive like this, the actual reality, that there is nothing. They'll tell you there's no one, no bodies, no thing. They don't experience. There's nothing. It's just nothing. Literally. I mean, some will tell you, yes, there's still whatever. So there's different things and they're different beliefs. Some will say you don't have to, just ignore the body mind, as I say, ignore the thoughts. You are just not it, which is so true. You are not the body and you're not the mind. Now the mind, what we believe, is the thoughts. And now you've learned the mind is only a program. The mind is is the poor brain. That's what I'm saying. What realized here is the poor brain is innocent. We are fighting with the brain. We taught now, this is what came here. We taught that the brain is the problem. The mind is the problem, and all the snakes and whatever they experience. It's teaching, it's this and that, it's trickster. But whatever you've been told, you're going to believe, right? And this is the obstacle to it. This is causing an obstacle. So what I realized today as well, as I say, people, it can just drop if you believe it enough. Literally, you are freaking creating your reality. You're already proven that if you... But what you are fighting with are the programs in the mind that are, as people know, manifestation, like ABMX, reprogram. What you are fighting with is the beliefs and the programs. But what we are forgetting is the fundamental program is that you need to transcend, overcome the mind. The mind's this, the mind's a problem, or it's it's an actual negative thing. So we're making the mind into a negative thing, or into an enemy. But it's not, the poor thing. The mind doesn't know any better. Look at people, and as I'm saying, look at if you've got decent parenting, kind, gentle parenting, whatever the mind, the experience the body mind's had is what it's going to learn. It's just learned behavior, learned patterns. Yeah, that's all it's going through. Exactly, it's creating the Maya. But that's why I'm saying you are literally doing this. You can't have an experience of being a human if you're not doing this, right? This is the whole idea, is pretending to be a body. You cannot have an experience of earth and any of this stuff if you are not doing that. So the whole purpose you're doing is that you want that experience. So being a guru is now, the thing is, it's when you are controlling your experience and you are knowing that you're doing it. You're consciously doing this shit. So I realized today, all we're going to do is just realize that we are doing this. You wouldn't freaking be here. You wouldn't be having any experience. It's just, especially from the West, we've got so much bullshit. And this is what came here. You made an enemy out of the mind, that it's the bad one, it's this, it's that. And I even missed one yesterday talking about it. And then I realized it's behavior, and then I actually felt sorry. You're thinking, no, it's not. It's not. It doesn't know any better. It's completely blank when you're born. It knows no better. So even gurus that tell you it's wrong, it's a problem, it's this, it's that, it's whatever, a lot function with it. They have done their, as they say, you've done direct inquiries, like a lot of radical non-duals, like Eckhart Tolle's way, or there's actually many online, plenty. Now I've opened a file for people to follow. There's so many people, depending on what takes your thing. But this one here, the old teachings, I think has also done it. So this one followed that old way of doing it, enforcing it, whatever, anyway. Scared the crap out of the body mind. And it just came back twice as bad afterwards. I mean, wow, the mind just came back. And then the mind sees that as a threat, you see. Because the mind really everything, it's really, this thing, body construct, believes it is real, only because of us. So it so believes it is real, it's going to die, it's immortal. Actually, there isn't any real body here. So I'm saying this is also nonsense. We're told that there is no real body. There's not even a fucking body. And if you actually do your self-inquiry, you'll be aware of that. Tap in, feel. I've shared, people have said this. Feel, you will realize. Tap in, see it, feel it. Put your energy here. You'll actually, if you close your eyes in your meditative state, you really will realize there is no body. It's only when you focus on, say you think of a back, you've got the sensation of a back, of a body. But if you pay attention, when you're focusing on your hand, you'll have no sensation of any other body parts, unless you're thinking of the body, you see. This is why when you're astral, there's no sensation or feeling or even knowing there's a body. Because this is where we got to get, what's, I think, blocking most people from getting to the state of, as say, being the gurus, which everyone's trying to do now, going to the heart center, is because it's actually made, yesterday I had this, started before I went to sleep. We think we've got to first of all, it's just knowing we are not the body mind. You are not it. So everyone really knows that, okay, I'm source, right? But we've still got a belief that you have to overdo something or overcome. This is teachings, and whatever teachings you are. You see, in every teaching, you are still told you are not it. You need to meditate. You need to do this. You need to do nothing. You're fucking doing it already. You cannot have an experience. You're already doing this. This is a problem. And this is what's coming through from the ETs. Are trying to tell people you are already this. So what we're trying to do, if you realize it, is actually just reprogram the mind. It would actually help. It's like this one did. You're going to fight with it, but in a nice way. The mind doesn't know any better. So it's just gently, no, we're not. I am God. I'm creating my reality. And start, that's what I did. You start telling it, and you're just not taking that, But then this one did it in a fighting way, realized because you thought you had to fight it, and it was, whatever. Never mind. It's just the mind here. The experience here as well. Wasn't the most pleasant upbringing and experience in life. So yeah, that's why the body died anyway. Poor body. So this so depending on the trauma and whatever and negative patterns and whatever else your body mind's been programmed with, will not make it easy. If there's a lot of, as I say, the process takes you through to release the fear, release all the shit. This whole awakening process you're going through is exactly what it's doing. It's releasing all of the shit from the body mind, all the nonsense you've taken on. I'm a body, negative beliefs, everything. This process is happening naturally on earth, if you like it or not. If you're having your awakening, you go through, when you start having your actual psychic awakening, yeah, this is what the whole process is, the dark night of the soul, but it's naturally happening. Naturally, you're waking yourself up, and you're forever giving yourself clues. We're not seeing it from that aspect. You see, we are thinking source. All you got to do, as I say, it's the mind, is stop. You've got to reprogram the poor body mind so it's not interfering with your awakening. Because what's happening now is that our mind, which is just, it's just a biological thing. Hasn't got a mind of its own, and it's not doing it. We have been told you're not God. It's either blasphemy or yes, you are, but you've got to meditate, and it takes 20 years and this and that, and you've got to do that, and you've got to do this. No, that's what I'm saying. It's actually bullshit. People are falling away quickly, even if they haven't. Okay, it's not pleasant for them, but doing direct inquiry or looking just at different levels, depending on what they were aware of already. If they haven't done the psychic thing, they're not aware. So this is what came here. It's all belief. Because as the God source, of course it is. So if you believe there's no such thing as parallel, there are many that are wakened up that are not psychic, that never psychically woke up. So have no idea that there are other planets, worlds, ETs, existences. I mean, this is entire fantasy realm. Whatever you can imagine, you can create. And you are doing it. This is the problem already. Everything. As source, already people are doing it. This is why you're starting to learn that you can manifest and control your reality. Because yes, but what you're not realizing is that you are doing everything. This entire experience of being alive and having a body and all this nonsense is you. Everything in it is you. Everything. You are creating everything in it. So what we're doing is not focusing on it. Oh wow, the tree, look at, we're not, as the gurus do, because you're not realizing you are doing, this whole thing you are doing. So we're not enjoying it, because we're not looking around, oh my gosh, the tree is amazing, wow. If you actually just take some time to contemplate, train the mind, and realize, I am right now doing this shit. This one did when you decide you want to. I'm actually doing this, and it'll start being reflected to you, and it's really true. So that's what I'm saying. If you look at it, analyze everything, you realize all you're doing is as source again, is what you believe. Where your obstacles are coming in is here. We're told, no, you can't, you're not doing this. Literally, anything. Now you realize, when you've done this and seen this, parallel realities, whatever, everything you are choosing, every belief and nonsense, you are creating it. So we're walking through life not enjoying, like realizing this is out of thin air. This is just, you are doing this. Now if you sat there and realized, wow, I'm creating experience. I'm even creating my duvet. Like yesterday, I was like thankful for my duvet and pillow and how nice and soft it was. I was like, thank you, Because it's not even being acknowledged, and it's a bloody nice duvet. It's like, wow, such a lovely soft bed. Thank you, bed. Because you're taking them, you're thinking these are just solid objects, you see. you're not like realizing, no, that's all the shit you're creating it. The bed, the experience of a flippin' duvet, a coffee, everything. Nothing exists. So what I think I saw as an obstacle now is all our teachings. Even the old ones. The old ones tell you yes, and yes, you can do it that way, because this one does. I mean, it's work. But a lot of it is also that the mind is a problem and it's negative, and we got to, you see, it's another thing, you're already not it. And you've got to do all of this to get there, which is bullshit. So you're creating this reality that I have to do, is the only way I can wake up. But this is what I'm trying to say. This is where I realize, no, is that I have to do this. And, 20 years of walking around singing and humming and whatever else. But we think about it. All we've got is a brain that is just it's depending on, that's what I'm saying. It's been told that it can't. It's got to do that. And you have to hum for 20 years and silence them. This is what I say. Silence the mind. But like this one, if you decide, and what stops you? The program. So you're already telling yourself as a divine, no, I can't without doing this and without doing that, and I have to do this, stand on my head and meditate, and I have to do that, and I have to silence my thoughts, I have to do this, whatever it is. You see, even this one, the mind, no, it's the body. The mind, absolutely. But of course the mind's going to believe the mind is, yes, belonging to the body, no problem. But you're not it. So what I thought yesterday is like being nice to it, because I just thought, fine, I'm not going to go into, you don't want to go in battle because you actually feel sorry for it. It doesn't know any better. It's just a biological thing. It's just here to protect the body. It doesn't know any better. So by treating it like it's an enemy and being nasty and overcoming, and it's the problem, but it's not, the poor thing. I really thought about it. It really isn't. So gently we can just, as I say, just carry on. As I say, it's a belief. Literally, you're creating all this. You would not even be having experience of being alive. It's not. So if we look at it from that aspect and go around now and start really acting, like just that I'm saying, hello, you're actually fucking doing it. Now going around, oh my gosh, looking at it from, right, you are creating this experience. I mean, experience of having a life, living in a body, but literally, fucking everything. Everyone will tell you. The guru is telling that, ETs are telling us right now. So the only thing it's not telling you is your poor mind, because everything you've been taught since you've grown up is the opposite. But it's not like 20 years, and it doesn't take long to reprogram the mind, as anyone's learning with the illness or whatever. And we just got to be nice. We just got to not fight with it, though, exact this one did. I mean, this is what the old, you seeing it as a problem, as a mind. You say it's all insultive, monkey mind, all these things. It's actually insultive. But I suppose, it's insulting to it. It's what they were taught. It's that whole era that came out of. You see, it was rather harsh. So I think we should not, it's looking at it from a nasty, from a negative point of view, as an insulting way, as the mind is a problem and it's this and it's that. But it's not the bloody mind's fault in the first place. What we don't realize is, being the divine, everything we think and believe is literally, so even that is becoming, we are creating our own obstacles. Because we are creating this whole fucking thing. So if we believe it takes a long time, it is a problem, that we can't wake up, that we have to stand on our head, and we got to meditate for 20 years, and we got to go through every teaching we've ever known. Fucking nonsense. Literally, but it is. Because you wouldn't be having an experience at all, nada. You know what I mean? And when you wake up, you actually realize this. So we've got teachings that say we've got to read all of this and know all of this to even wake up. Yeah, you start meditating. You are trying to wake yourself up. You are the one who's giving yourself hints, as you know, when you start waking up. Your inner, you are guiding you. You don't need any books, any other things, in that came. If it is trying to, it's trying to point you like this one, or just so you get, oh, okay, what it's trying to tell you. Yeah, look there. So it's going to guide you. You are guiding the body to like, hey, go look there, so you can get this idea of knowledge or wake up or whatever you need. Everyone knows that. You're getting synchronicities. It's just you. We're trying to wake yourself up. I remember the once, and I only understood it when you got to a higher level, as I say, as you go up this thing. What came here, right? This is really interesting. Because the one day I woke up, so this is you trying to tell you, like, look, everything's here now, yeah. But you didn't get it then, you see. I woke up, and I was in bed, and I had this experience. That's what I say. This is you trying to show you that all of a sudden, it was the weirdest thing. It was like I could see all time, obviously time and space disappeared. So everybody, it was in my room. So you were in this point in awareness, this energy, this point in space and time, right? Which is you in the, say, in my bedroom. And everything and everyone in that point in space and time, throughout all time and space, was here. It was like, holy shit, I had old people around in my apartment, young people, people for like in the 1800s, kids. So you could see right throughout, as I say, there isn't any space and time, there's only right here. And this is what they were trying to show you. There is, because this is, you and if I can bubble anyway, there isn't anywhere. You are source in the middle of nothingness, nowhere, as Bashar says, there is nowhere to go, nothing. There's just your consciousness, and there's nothing. Lots of frequencies and vibrations, actually, you'll be aware of that. There's any frequencies and vibrations around you. So right here, as I say, everything is right here, right now. Because it's being created, well, at the moment you're projecting it from your mind, your little world. And even the belief that you're sharing a world, what all those other, other thing, you can, as I say, we're co-creating it, everything. So actually, it's our own beliefs and programs as what we are telling ourselves is the problem. So it was so weird because I remember, and I didn't quite know why they were showing me this. I was thinking, okay, that's interesting because you are time, you are space. Anyway, even that, you're playing this. So all of a sudden, here I was in my bedroom and I could see right through time, anyone that ever lived here, been here, whatever, was here. It was like, wow, they were like old people and young people and people from the 1700s, 1800s running around and old. So any tenants, anyone that ever lived here, all of a sudden appeared in my room. It was like funky. I was sitting in bed thinking, my house was very busy. Because it's the same thing. It's trying to show you. And when you meditate, you're well aware that there's no one exists. They're just thoughts. So everyone around you, if you tap in, you'll get these realizations that they're just thoughts. Sometimes you perceive them as frequencies. You're aware, you're sitting, you realize there's nothing out there and there's just different frequencies. Sometimes you can perceive them as lights, which I did. So it looks like, because it's, as I say, it's representing as frequencies, like you see crystalline light. That's frequencies. All we're perceiving is different frequencies. They actually appear as light. So sometimes in meditation I perceive, well, sometimes you can perceive is like red, yellow, like nothing. You realize there's nothing out there, but these different, you're surrounded by different frequencies which are appearing as different lights, as different colors, actually. But that's what I'm saying. It just baffles me. And then people say, look how the ETs, and they can't understand how they can move through different dimensions and get here and appear in your room like yesterday. They can just appear wherever. Yeah, because they fucking know that. That consciousness, that being, is past this stage, as they're trying to tell us. They know that. So it really dawned on me the only thing that is stopping humanity, you, from having a so-called humanity, playing humans, right? Now, having a decent experience or doing any of these things is exactly, we are following all teachings. Doesn't matter if they're old, ancient gurus, yogis, whatever, the same thing. You can only do it this way. That is a problem. You see, it's not. You and then when they wake up, they tell you you're already that. But you see, they've already been programmed that you need to get there through this teaching. This is what came here. Because they woke up that way, their belief is the only way you can wake up is that way, that path. That you have to go this path to wake up. This is where I realize is a problem. I know it's not going to, it won't go down well if you believe that, obviously not. But this is what I'm saying. I looked at other people. Even if you go listen to the other guy, The Secret, what's his name? He'll tell you it's a lot of bollocks. Because he doesn't believe that. Everyone's source. He woke up. But if you go through, if you have your awakening as through a yogi or a Buddhist tradition, this is what you will believe is the only way, because you've been told that, you accept it as a truth, and that's the path you took to wake up. Others are going to meetings and listening and being told and doing this, looking, and they're realizing, oh no, this is not, and it's falling away without anything. So there's enough proof out there now through all these different ways of waking up. You've got all these people waking up now, doing it differently. So there is proof there. Whatever you believe, because you are, that's what I'm saying. It's just a simple realization. If we can just get to the simple understanding, you're already fucking doing it. Because you would not have any bloody experience, as I tell you. And it's true. And start walking around and start acting and appreciating it, and you'll watch. The veil will fall. Probably in about the same time, 30 or 40 days, it will fall. Why? It's because you are the bloody divine. You see, what the thing is, because you are having experience, as they say, in the body mind, you notice when you do healing and clearings, it takes longer for it actually to go into the, not say physical, but they are. Because it is, when you get to that, like I said, get to that phase, and now you want to play like I did, you know, drop into someone, and, you know, it's not funny, but yeah, you can, into their bubble and see what's going on there. It's denser. You realize that it's uncomfortable. You really lower your frequency. It's like squeezing. So as sources, that's what they say. It's like you've compacted. You're squeezing your frequency down into much more density, because you are playing the third or fourth density now, experience, right? That's what it's simple as that. So you feel it. It's very unpleasant when you drop down. I had to focus down and drop into this guy's bubble, and, you know, that was a bit embarrassing because I had never done it before, obviously. So I wasn't aware that I was going to see everything. I was like, okay, yeah, I see you want to live there. You got a nice house. You know, I didn't tell him, you know, that you were, you know, you didn't want to tell him, because people feel like, you see, embarrassed because they aren't aware. They think they're a human, and you're invading their privacy when you can see everything and know everything which they're thinking or want or whatever. People would feel, that's what I'm saying. This is really what, look at people's reactions now. Oh, they can spy on me. What are you frightened of? You're not even there. You see, you so believe you're a physical. So basically, narrow it down to the fact is, the realization, going through all of these things, maybe this is why the experience happened here. First of all, to die, so you remember that and you know what's it like, and you know how you actually play this game, as the gurus say. There is no being born. Because then how the fuck did I come back? There is no being born, first of all. And you're remembering this. So there's no being born. You focus in and remember this literally and did it. It was such fun. So you like being out of the body because you move like lightning. And you can play whatever you want to play. So the fact that you are here, having an experience of a body in this, yes, as they say, the body, yes, you are chosen this. You are playing in a body because you want to have an experience. So don't fight the fact that you got a body. Yes, the body. The body, you are using it, as they say. So you can have this and perceive any reality in the first place. You need the body to perceive the illusion. You see? So accept the body. We love the body. Thank you, body, which there's a lot of the things we're not taught. Because over there is neglect the body, go sit there, let the flies eat you, whatever. No, all these things I say. The problem is when you've woken any way like that, you only believe that. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's just what I say, because it's all source. But that's what they believe. So they will, no matter anyone that doesn't, they will argue with you, because no, the only way is this way, the only way is that way, or that's, you see them, all the non-dual people, they fight plenty. And they all have it there, and they all realize, but they'll argue with each other still. Teaching's wrong, that's right, this is whatever. Anyway, this is, if you're observant enough. Everyone is source. That's it. And they're going to wake up, as you'll notice, having different experiences of awakening, many different paths. Why? This is what came to me this morning. The problem is what we are telling ourselves, because we are fucking doing it. Or you would not even be here having any experience that you have a body, you're in a body, that you're having a life. So if we start acting like that, not having to be, and just understand the only reason why we are not is this poor mind and body has been told otherwise, right? But just remember, like I said today, you are not the body and mind. Like everyone says, I'm source, but then you forget. Yeah, we do it. So it's just, you've got to reprogram yourself, the thing, not the mind. You say it's not you, but the mind is identified. So this is, how do I say this? This is where your problem is that you are going to, this is why they say it's an obstacle to awakening, but it's not. It's just a misunderstanding. The body is going to disagree with you because you keep dropping it. So believes, obviously, the mind, is what I say, you're not, the mind and the body really believe it naturally. So the mind is part of the body, it believes it. Doesn't mean you have to, as they say. As long as you understand, no, as you realize now, I am source, right? But how to get around this is by, yes, you're absolutely creating it. Start enjoying it and treating it and claiming I am creating this all, everything, like they say. And if we start acting like they're telling us, be and happy, what have you got to lose, right? So, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So start walking around as if, and try it out, literally. Start walking around really, well, yeah, of course, because I mean, there is nothing but you in existence. That, yes, I am creating everything, treat it as such, like, wow, look at the pillow, wow, my gosh, and just like, as though it's a playground, literally. That's how powerful you really are, and they've been trying to tell us that you really are creating everything. And as the gurus, now why do you think the gurus can manifest anything when they reach that? Absolutely anything they can say, you can have anything. Why? Because there's no doubt, because they depends how they work up, they bypass the mind. So what I'm trying to say is, like here, how to get that was, this one fought with the mind, right? But so you just make it stressed and upset. So what you did was terrorize and stress and upset the body mind. You can't say that was a pleasant idea, as they say. So you fought with it because, what you're doing is trying to change the program. But if we have compassion and realize, okay, we've been fed all this, misidentified. We thought we were the bodies and mind, and we have to do something, go there, reach enlightenment, get it. Now you got to get fucking nowhere. You would not even be here if you weren't doing this. You're not having any experience. You cannot have this experience if you're not doing it. This is how they say you're manifesting your reality and creating your thing. You absolutely are. You cannot have any experience of even earth, anything, if you're not doing this. So already you are creating everything. And you'll see this. This is why it's trying to wake you up. You're waking yourself up. Experience different timelines as it manifesting now. You're teaching yourself. What you're doing is actually teaching the body mind to accept the truth. This is actually what's happening. Actually. It's gently, so we don't terrorize. You'll see all this has been cleared, all the programs and beliefs, and when you wake up now and karma, it's also belief karma. There's another realization. I really like, oh my gosh, even that was a belief. It was taught to us. That what you do wrong comes back. It's nothing to do with wrong, you see. If you believe you're going to do something wrong and get punished, it happens. This is what we're not understanding. We are literally creating fucking everything. So if we believe karma, that's a story too, that you are doing wrong, it comes back to you, that's what you will create that experience. If you know what you send out is what you get back. Everything is a belief. Absolutely everything. Karma is a belief. Having to meditate and go sit on a cushion and hum for 10 days, or you have to do this and read every scripture to become, enlightened. No. They teach you all these things about energy and all those. Yes, there's a way to do it. Absolutely. You can teach a mind. That's great that you understand how to manage your energy to control, your reality. Manage energy is very important because this is just energy. But the most fundamental thing is that what we're forgetting is that we are doing it already. Everything. So we believe again that we need to do this to manage our energy. What are you creating? I'm going to have to learn to manage my energy. I'm going to have to know. This is what really came to me, is that everything is a belief. And where you have problems is the doubt comes in from the mind, because everything that we have heard from outside is telling us the opposite. You see? So pay attention, watch. As they say, the mind comes up and says, oh my gosh, no, this and that, doubt or worry. You see, because the mind doesn't understand it, as they tell you. That's true, absolutely what they tell you. The mind doesn't know because it doesn't understand it. So all we get to have is sympathy. You're still doing it, yes. And what's not interfering, but the programs, is the poor mind. So I was thinking today, gently now, is if you start like people are doing a manifestation, right? Start acting as though, so you're trying to train the body mind. Yes, you are running around appreciating everything in here, and the mind can't see outside. Remember such, and telling the mind how wonderful this is. Oh my gosh, look at I'm creating. Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you. And watch. Try a 30-40 day acting as though in absolute belief. There. the mind is going to then start to believe that is true as well. Problem solved. So I think this is a way to approach it from a different angle. There we are. Is to approach becoming yourself again, but from a different angle. From the factors here, as the gurus have always been telling you and everyone. But what pops in? Fear, programs, the mind, whatever, stories and nonsense, and not, where you've been told. Doesn't matter what religion you come from, a background. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be punished. I'm going to be whatever. Da 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 da. Who knows? So much nonsense is in there. You realize that if you watch them. Wow, what's your thoughts? So we run around and start actually enjoying our experience, because this is quite clear when I came back again. But then you see you drift back into the patterns. When I came back again, I was like, you realize all you came here is to enjoy it. It's like, wow, the taste of an ice cream, because you're nothing. So you want to experience the taste, but an ice cream feels like a sunset. And look, before you die, what is your most important thing? What goes through your mind is, oh my gosh, I'm not going to see another sunset or a bird. Literally. Those are the things you enjoy, you came here to watch and create. This is what we forgot, you see. This is what we forgot. You just, because we've been, it doesn't matter what path and what teachings you got, still are a belief. And it's still a hindrance. And we can, as I'm saying, I opened a non-dual file for people to see. There's radical non-duals. They even argue. So they'll tell you these old teachings, they'll argue, they're saying the old teachings they don't agree with them, because they say it's a teaching you that you're already not it. And you're already it. It's true, which is true. You have to become it. You see, you have to do this to become it. No, what we're going to do is overcome the poor program. You see, because you're already it, you're creating us, but then your mind is saying, no, this and that, and interfering and telling you all kinds of negative, as you notice, this is why you're reprogramming the negative belief system so you can manifest or whatever else. So yeah, as this awakening journey shows you, it's undoing all of those programs. You are showing you what is blocking you from actually having a nice life and punishing you and being. So anyone that's on this awakening journey naturally now, on this ascension journey, had your awakening, you start working through all of this shit. Oh, all your traumas and what you're doing is emptying the body mind from this nonsense, which is actually blocking us. It's true. All of the rubbish that we've taken on from the time we were a child, all the stories, all the dramas, all the beliefs, it doesn't matter what it is, that you're not, are the problem. That you need to do something, get there, become it, ascend, No. This is the whole thing. The fundamental flaw is we are starting on the wrong principle. You are it. Finished. Finished. That's why when the body disappears, you have no more earth experience. You've already frippin', You're it. Or you would be back in spirit form. You are it. Done. You are doing this, everything. You would not having experience of earth, people, humans, anything if you weren't doing this. So you're already doing this. You're already creating this. But what we're going to do, as I say, is undo, as you're learning, all the shit that we've taken on. Beliefs, fears, traumas, problems, nonsense. See? That's it. Everything. You're creating it. So if you realize that, like they say, why do you think they can manifest so easily? Because they walk around no worries. First of all, they don't really, it's a plaything, so it's not really, you're just enjoying it, the experience. That's why they don't chase after materialistic things either, because they know, honestly, that's quite a shocker when you realize that. Paradoxical. When it falls on your kids. I think the most, I discussed it, because as I was going through these experiences and, getting these things and realizations, I was going on Facebook, because the mind, you see, also you didn't have any understanding. The mind was like trying to come to terms with this. See, because that's why you're using the mind again. Analyze, the fact as well, that it was like it is very paradoxical, because you had such a strong belief that this is real. So it's taken a while, taken about a year now to kind of come with it. And that your children are real, everything else. So when you see that they're not, it is a huge shock, because now you've got, my children, everyone, these things, people mean so much to you, because you really believe that they're real. That you have real children, that there's a real anything out there. So this had a lot of It took a while to process all of that, because it was like, wow. And then you were like, oh, all of a sudden you didn't want to play. Then you see, so that you went to this paradox point of, what's the point of being here? What's the point? You know, what's the point? Like, now you just lost interest. So you could understand their reaction of some of these gurus then. They just went to go live in a cave because, like, oh no, they don't want to play anymore. They lost interest. You see, because if you believe everything out there is real, and you're chasing things and a car and this and that, you know, things, when you see nothing's real, it's, you know, as I'm saying, why do you think they enjoy the simple things? Because when you actually just try it for a week or two, realize I'm creating the whole fucking thing, the whole thing, everything. There's nothing in reality. There's nothing in existence, right? So everything that I'm experiencing through this body mind, I am doing it. The bed, the fact that I'm creating a bed, I'm you know, I'm nothing, eh? So then you will look at it from a different perspective when you realize, out of thin air, this is materializing, all of this. I mean, I'm in a bed, at this, and we're not even acknowledging the poor bed, you see, which is everything you're creating. So I bet you if you tried 30, 40 days of this, your veil will fall. When you really are acting like you are. So it's conning the mind again, it's reprogramming the mind to accept the fact, because, well, those that are on the awakened path, you already know, I'm source, yeah, but they see, they still are, no, I'm real, I'm this body. It's physical. You'll find out it's not if you practice this. You are creating everything. That's why you think you have past lives, because you've played so many stories. So of course you're not the bloody body. Poof, it stays behind and off you go. But you think there's a real body that's actually going to die. That doesn't happen either. There's no real body. There's no real, actually, people. No real children, no real death. That's also, you see, that's before you've seen through this. But if you want to start seeing, as the gurus say, to have to claim our power, which is you, to realize really what's going on, that you actually are fucking doing this. There's no people, nothing. Everything you're making it up. You'll see that they're not real. They're holographic. Or besides that, there isn't anything. But in order for you to start standing in your power, to realize, I think for us to do this and start, out of our limitations, we're limiting ourselves by everything. Even believing we can't wake up unless we, do 20 years and study and do this and sit and, as this one did. But no, because what really was the matter here, which was the fight, it was first of all, the mind just gave up. The mind had its own ideas, it was like, nah. But yeah, that wasn't a good way, because it terrified the living shit out of the body mind, and then you had the consequences and problems plenty afterwards to work with. And then the mind will try and sabotage it, because the mind sees this as a threat. You see, the body mind, it's a threat. The body's going to die. It sees your awakening, your meditation and this thing as a threat, as a real threat to its existence, you see. So this is a gentle way. And what you're doing is programming the body mind, first of all, to be happy. There's no threat. I mean, look at this. It's amazing. We're enjoying it. Oh, my gosh. So the body is going to start seeing this as the mind is going to start seeing this as an amazing experience, and not as a threatening experience, as a difficult experience, as something it has to overcome. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Playing puzzles again. It's TikTok verification. So this is what I'm saying here. There's one way. If you do the old teachings, you've got to do this to overcome the mind, right? There's that obstinate. There's that way of doing it, because that's how they do. The one first does it, so he tells everyone the only way to get. Obviously, he's going to do that, wouldn't he? You awoken that way, you're going to believe that's the only way to do it. Yes, getting out of the mind, as you say, when you meditate, you realize there's a lot more to earth than just earth, and here, that's what I'm saying. This is not the only game in town, not at all. As you realize when you start not listening to that, so you already know you're not the body mind. You already know your source. You already can astral. If you had your awakening, you by now, depending on what level, how much you've worked, how much density. The more you release, the higher you can actually go. Because you're dropping the, or getting out of the body. Astraling is another way. then you really have no limitations. So if you do the astral projection thing and drop the body, then you're not battling with the density story. What the thing is, which is an obstacle, is the density held in the body mind. But I just thought this is a nicer way, because literally it's a program. You are creating this thing. You cannot have an earth experience of being alive on a planet or any of this shit in the first place if you weren't. So everything, you're really doing it. But as you know, you can manifest an unpleasant experience when we don't know that, and when we've got a program running, it's telling us all kinds of stuff, and of course, like this one did, it fears it because it actually thinks it's going to die, because first of all, it really believes it's a real, you've really taken on this belief that you're a real body mind. So like this one, the body mind is, you can terrorize the crap out of it. But this is a gentle way of doing, well, there's many ways. As I say, you can do the non-dual one and listen to them and do the direct looking, and that can fall away, whichever one you'd feel drawn to. But this is what came to me today. I just thought, oh my gosh,